Aishwarya, how does the opposition meanwhile reconcile its no confidence motion against Mr. Dhankar just a few months ago with today's praise? Is this being seen as strategic repositioning, or are people calling this opportunistic doublespeak?
Well, it is. Mallikarjun Kharge stated that the resignation that Jagdeep Dhankar had submitted to President of India, this will matter completely between the Vice President and the government, and they have nothing to do with it. But the political voices that have erupted since yesterday late night is that there is more to it, something political that is sinking within the government, and it is, a pressure tactics is something that many of the leaders have also called in. But certainly, the latest what we are getting in as far as the Bharatiya Janata Party camp is concerned, BJP President JP Nadda stated that Kiran Rijiju and remember, this is the clarification on yesterday's 4:30 p.m. BAC meeting that have come in. As far as JP Nadda and Kiran Rijiju being absent in this particular meeting, JP Nadda stated that he and Kiran Rijiju could not attend 4:30 meeting called by the Honorable Vice President, as he was occupied with another important parliamentary engagement. Poor intimation regarding this was really conveyed to the and prior to that, it was duly conveyed to the Vice President's office. L. Murugan represented the government as well. It was also stated by JP Nadda that when he said in the Rajya Sabha that only what he say will go on record. It was directed to the interrupting opposition MPs, not the chair. A clarification that has come in from the Vice President. Another update from the Parliament that we are getting is currently high-level meeting is underway at Defence Minister Rajnath Singh's chambers, in which S. Jaishankar, JP Nadda, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, and Kiran Rijiju, Arjun Ram Meghwal all are present. Just before the second day of Monsoon session of Parliament is the high-level meeting that is still underway at Defence Minister Rajnath Singh's chambers.
Right. Crucial details. Aishwarya Jain is reporting there. A high-level meeting is currently underway at Mr. Rajnath Singh's chamber ahead of the second day of the Monsoon session of Parliament. Meanwhile, Aishwarya, are reports of Mr. Dhankar expressing dissatisfaction with senior BJP ministers true? Have there been conversations where he allegedly questioned their leadership?
Well, the official resignation that has come out from the Vice President's office is citing the health reasons. Nothing has been stated more than that. He thanked, of course, the Prime Minister of our country, the Council of Ministers, for their constant support and the kind of the way he ran the Vice President's office with the support of the Modi's, Council of Ministers. But certainly it is Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar who had been very vocal in the past about many different issues, bringing reforms in the parliamentary process as well. One of the very important things that had been, quoted as far as Jagdeep Dhankar is concerned, the impact of the newly elected parliamentarians being sitting on a chair is something that he would be remembered for. Jagdeep Dhankar had been very vocal and critic about the opposition in the Rajya Sabha. He had at several instances, whenever these differences have occurred, met the senior leadership of the opposition parties in his chambers, called them in as far as removing these differences are concerned. But certainly it was this very opposition who had brought in the motion for the removal of Vice President. But soon after that, there were differences that were kept aside. We have often seen Jagdeep Dhankar meeting with Mallikarjun Kharge and senior leadership of the Congress party after that as well. But certainly it was all about the impeachment of Justice Verma. Yesterday, there were multiple rounds of meetings that went on in the parliament. It was Prime Minister who chaired the meeting. In Lok Sabha, it was almost 145 MPs from the opposition and treasury benches who signed that particular letter and submitted to the Lok Sabha Speaker. Rather, the same planning was done in the Rajya Sabha as well by the government. But before that, it was Rajya Sabha chairperson who announced from the chair that he has already received a signed letter of more than 50 MPs from the opposition camp from the chair, and he is bound to admit that. Certainly, that is one thing that the sources have told us, that has miffed the government, that without informing the treasury benches, it is Jagdeep Dhankar who had announced this from the chair. But Rajnath Singh, the defense minister, called all the Rajya Sabha MPs from the NDA faction to his chambers yesterday and got they got this letter signed so that they can submit it to the Rajya Sabha chairperson. Whether this was the reason behind the resignation or something else, something that is speculation at this point in time. Many theories are going around. But remember, it is just the opposition voices that have been speaking. Nothing official has been stated, either from the Vice President's office, apart from this resignation letter, or from the government itself.
Right. In fact, that remains the big question. Was this a voluntary resignation or a forced one masked as health-related? Meanwhile, Aishwarya, you mentioned that high-level meeting is currently underway at Rajnath Singh's chamber. If you could provide our viewers further details, who all are in attendance at the moment?
Well, this is a high-level meeting which is currently underway at Defense Minister Rajnath Singh's chambers in the Parliament, and what we've been told that apart from Rajnath Singh, S. Shankar, J.P. Nadda, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju, and Arjun Ram Meghwal, Law Minister, is present. Certainly, a strategy is being formed as to how government has to respond to the entire row that had erupted since yesterday after the resignation. Of course, many theories are going in. What will be the official words that can come in from the government, and how the government is planning ahead for the entire monsoon session of Parliament, because there are several issues that have been brought in by the opposition. One thing that had been cleared yesterday in the BSc of the Lok Sabha, that 16 hours time for the debate on Operation Sindoor will be given for next week, and probably more durations have been announced for different important bills as well. But Rajya Sabha, that BSc that met twice yesterday, that went inconclusive in nature, and therefore the reason after that 4:30 BSc Jagdeep Dhankar had stated that they will again meet today at 1 p.m. to decide on the duration on the discussion on Operation Sindoor in the Rajya Sabha. But certainly, Bihar SIR issue is one of the major point of contention that can be seen within the Parliament, as the opposition parties, the India bloc, who is currently meeting at Mallikarjun Kharge's chambers, and the Congress MPs have also been called in. They will be forming strategy. There was a protest that was planned by the Congress outside the Makar Dwar regarding the Bihar SIR issue as well. So that could be one thing that could be point of contention. The government has clearly stated that this is under the constitution rules that Election Commission is conducting such a process in Bihar. Rather, the opposition camp had called it completely unconstitutional. They have stated that 4 to 5 crore voters in Bihar would be affected, and to form a strategy around that. Certainly, this important meeting is underway. Of course, discussions on Vice President resignation will definitely go on, but a high-level meeting is still underway at Defense Minister Rajnath Singh's chambers, where we have been told S. Shankar, J.P. Nadda, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Arjun Ram Meghwal, and Kiran Rijiju are present.
Well, thank you for giving us those crucial details about that high-level meeting that's currently underway in Rajnath Singh's chamber.